And let's speak now to Professor Amin Saikal, a Middle East expert at the ANU. Professor Saikal, thanks so much for your time. On this settlement announcement from Mike Pompeo, it does not come as much of a surprise given the rhetoric and the position that the Trump administration has increasingly been seen to take on these settlement issues.
Well, it is a major shift.
It's a big shift, but not a big surprise.
But not a big surprise at all, because the Trump administration has been a very strong supporter of Israel, and therefore it is basically undermined its own position as an honest peace broker between the Palestinians and the Israelis. And that's one of the reasons why there is no negotiating going on between the two sides.
And when it comes to the settlements, we know that Barack Obama, the Obama administration, refused to veto one particular resolution at the United Nations, which was critical of Israel. That in itself was also a shift from the US. Traditionally, Israel's fiercest ally and would veto criticism. Obama didn't. Is this an attempt to reverse that?
I think it basically reverses that and even goes further than that, because Pompeo's announcement really flies in the face of international law and international opinion. And let's not forget that the International Court of Justice had described these settlements as illegal.
When it comes to the settlements, though, they're so vast now, even if there were to be some resolution, it's hard to imagine that all of those would be removed. Would it simply be a matter of, in a two-state solution, presumably that's still the end goal, that the territory would have to be reworked?
Well, it is part of an Israeli policy of creating more facts on the ground, which would make the creation of an independent, sovereign Palestinian state extremely difficult. And I think this is another source of support for that sort of policy on the part of the Trump administration, which I don't think is really going to help the cause of a peaceful settlement.
So do you think that it makes the prospects of talks resuming at any point less likely?
Very less likely, no. Yes.
And when it comes to the Palestinian situation right now, give us a sense of what their leadership is like. Is it still split between Gaza and the West Bank?
Yes, and I think that's one of the main problems that the Palestinian side has, because the leadership is split between those who are nominally in control of the West Bank and, of course, Hamas, which is very much in control of Gaza. And, of course, there have not been as much meeting of the minds between the two sides as there should have been. And also, the Palestinian leadership on the West Bank is really getting old and aged, and Mahmoud Abbas is really almost has reached the retirement age.
On another story, the New York Times has got another leak today. It's in relation to Iran and sheds light on a few different things, including how the Islamic Republic of Iran wields influence over Iraq. Does that surprise you?
No, that does not surprise us at all, simply because since the toppling of Saddam Hussein, there was a power vacuum which was created in Iraq, and of course different groups tried to fill that power vacuum, and of course the Shias, who formed the majority in Iraq, they took the lead, and of course they are the ones who are very much in power at the moment.
So the Shia and the Iranian Republic, of course, is a Shiite kingdom as well. So hence they cooperate.
There is a lot of sectarian affiliation. In Iran has got very good relationship with a number of political groups, as well as Shia militias in the country that are wielding a lot of influence across Iraq, and particularly in the Shia-dominated areas.
And what are the implications of having Iraq as a client state of Iran, essentially?
Obviously, it's not very pleasing to the United States, and it's not pleasing to other Arab countries in the region, because traditionally the identity of Iraq had been forged with the Arab world, not necessarily a very close ally of Iran. But now that's the way things are going. But at the same time, the United States still has 5,000 troops in Iraq and would like to really counter the Iranian influence as much as possible. And I mean, in addition to that, of course, the United States is building up its forces in the Gulf and trying to enhance the American policy of maximum pressure on Iran.
And finally, the Iranian issue, they've got their own problems at the moment. We've seen protests in Iraq, in Lebanon, in fact, many parts of the world, Hong Kong and Chile as well, but also in Tehran. How volatile is the situation in Iran at the moment?
Well, I think the situation is not really as volatile as to really undermine the position of the government to the extent to which could enable the United States to achieve its objectives, to secure the overthrow of the government. But at the same time, it is hurting the Iranian public, and the economy is really going down, and the Iranian rial is badly devalued altogether. And of course, also the main source of Iran's income, that is export of oil, has been halted.
Professor Amin Saikal, Middle East expert at ANU, thanks so much. We'll talk to you soon.